Some people grow up sensing that the world asks too much of them. Conversations feel heavy, expectations feel loud, and social interactions drain more energy than they give. To others, they appear quiet, distant, or uninterested, but inside they hold a rich, detailed inner world full of deep thoughts and sharp emotional awareness. They don't avoid people, they avoid becoming the version of themselves they're forced to become around people. They protect their peace, not out of coldness, but out of sensitivity and self-preservation. These individuals notice everything. The tone behind a comment, the tension behind a smile, the emotional weight in a room. And while others socialize effortlessly, they perform silent emotional math in every interaction, adjusting, softening, calculating. Trying not to disappoint anyone. This constant self-monitoring becomes exhausting. So they turn to solitude, where they don't need to perform, explain, or shrink themselves. Silence becomes recovery. Solitude becomes safety. Society misjudges them, calling them antisocial or withdrawn. But truthfully, they crave depth, sincerity, and gentle connection, not noise or chaos. Their inner world is so rich that the outer world becomes optional, even overwhelming. Many of them carry a quiet history, moments of judgment, broken trust, or feeling misunderstood. These experiences didn't break them, they shaped them. Teaching caution that slowly transformed into comfort, the paradox is simple. They say they prefer being alone, but deep down, they long for connection that doesn't drain them. Connection that feels like peace, not pressure. What they truly want is quiet warmth, presence without noise, honesty without hurt, companionship that feels grounding, not overwhelming. They live more comfortably alone because they think deeply, feel intensely, observe silently, and protect themselves carefully. Not because they dislike people, but because they dislike losing themselves around people. And when the right person finally enters their quiet world, someone who brings calm instead of chaos, they soften. They bloom, and they finally feel understood. The quiet individuals society often misreads asterisk. There are individuals who move through life softly, like a slow breeze others barely notice. They don't seek attention. They don't fight for space. They simply exist quietly, observing more than they participate. To the outside world, they seem distant or uninterested. But in reality, their mind is always awake, always processing, always absorbing. While others walk into a room and feel energized, these individuals walk into the same room and feel overwhelmed. Not frightened, just overloaded. Because every voice, every expression, every shift in mood hits them with surprising intensity, and that is where their story begins. Asterisk, asterisk. Why the world feels too loud for them for most people. Social interaction is simple. Talk, laugh, respond. Repeat. But for those who live comfortably alone, every interaction is layered. They don't just hear someone's words, they notice the tone under those words. They don't just see someone smile, they sense the tension behind that smile. They don't just observe behavior, they interpret it. Their mind picks up microsignals most people never notice. They feel emotions that aren't theirs. They carry energies that don't belong to them. This constant emotional intake creates a silent exhaustion. Not visible on their face, but heavy inside their chest. So they seek refuge in solitude. Because solitude is the one place where the world stops shouting. The hidden emotional math they constantly perform. Most people walk into a conversation naturally. But these individuals walk in with calculation, not by choice, but by instinct. They adjust their tone. They soften their emotions. They hide certain truths. They perform tiny emotional negotiations just to exist comfortably. Their mind keeps asking, am I saying too much? Was that the right reaction? Did I accidentally disappoint someone? Is there something they expect me to be? This constant self-editing is draining. So eventually, they choose environments where they don't need to perform, and most of those environments exist only in solitude. Society's pressure makes them withdraw more. Society has a strange rule. If you're quiet, something must be wrong. If you enjoy being alone, you're antisocial. If you don't constantly socialize, you're cold. But people who live more comfortably alone aren't running away from humanity. They're simply running toward peace. They don't want chaos. Forced small talk, fake enthusiasm, or draining interactions. They crave depth. They crave sincerity. They crave spaces where silence isn't awkward, but respected, because in silence they breathe. In solitude, they recover. The internal world that feels bigger than the outside. People often forget this. Some individuals don't need the world to entertain them. Their own mind is enough. Their imagination is rich. Their thoughts are detailed. Their reflections run deep. They can sit alone in a quiet room and feel more alive than in a room full of people. And because their inner world feels meaningful, the outer world feels optional. Not unnecessary, just secondary. The painful history behind their preference for solitude. Not every person who prefers solitude has been hurt, but many have been shaped. Some learned early that expressing emotions led to judgment. Others learned that trust was fragile. Some were told their personality was too much or too strange. Others were misunderstood so often that silence became easier than explaining. These small emotional experiences don't break them. They simply teach them caution, and caution slowly becomes comfort. Comfort slowly becomes preference. Preference slowly becomes identity. The paradox of their personality. Dear, single quotas, the irony. They say they like being alone, but deep down, they crave connection. Not the casual, noisy kind, the gentle, peaceful, understanding kind. They want someone who doesn't mistake their silence for rejection, who doesn't interpret their distance as coldness, who sees the depth beneath their calm. They crave closeness, just not the kind that costs them their energy. What they actually want from people they want. Honesty without cruelty, attention without pressure, presence without noise, connection without chaos. Companionship that feels like quiet warmth, not emotional weight. They want relationships where they can be fully themselves without adjusting, performing, or shrinking. They don't need many people. They just need the right ones. Asterisk the psychology of why they live more comfortably alone. Psychologists describe them with terms like high sensitivity, low stimulation threshold, introspective personality, emotional self-protection, deep processing mind. But labels don't explain the whole truth. They live comfortably alone because they feel deeply. They think intensely. They observe silently. They protect carefully. They connect selectively. They love quietly, and solitude allows them to do all this without interruption. The final layer, they never truly disliked people. This is the truth hidden in their heart. They never disliked people. They disliked noise. They disliked pressure. They disliked pretending. They disliked expectations. They disliked emotional exhaustion. They disliked losing themselves around others. When the right people enter their life, people who bring calm instead of chaos, everything changes. They open up. They soften. They become expressive. Their inner world becomes visible because they never wanted to live alone forever. They just wanted to feel safe.